They completely sealed every opening, even as they heard the disquieting conversation of the soldiers. It was long past 3 a.m., but everyone was wide awake with fear. They were having an extremely long night. Coincidentally, the end of their night had almost arrived.
全部お社様のたたりないしゃ。リカちゃま、リカちゃま、お社様、お社様。やっぱり古手神社の鬼隠しはお社様のお怒りの詐欺ぶれだったんだ。あの日、古手神社は鬼の国に飲み込まれたんよ。リカちゃまは鬼たちに腹渡を食らわれたんじゃ。
They all started saying that the gas disaster was caused by the curse of Oyashiro-sama, and Rika's death and the mysterious disappearance of her friends and the two detectives were also the result of the curse. People started talking about being demoned away. They had no idea that Keiichi and his friend's short battle sealed their fate for that night. The more religious villagers had become convinced that the children of the detectives went missing, because they volunteered to become a sacrifice to calm Oishiro's anger after Rika's death. They didn't know the truth. They couldn't know. No one realized that Keiichi and his friends' efforts had all been in vain. Indeed, in Hinamizawa, everything that happened is the will of Oishiro-sama. But why did it have to be that way? Before the series of mysterious deaths occurred, no one really used the term the curse of Oishiro-sama that frequently. In other words, who set them up? People in this village are set up to believe that the curse of Oishiro-sama happened every year. They really are just too superstitious.
さんさ、全小隊が点呼を終了しました。遅れていた自主避難者もさっき最後の家族が合流したようです。全員揃いました。
そう、いよいよね。お社様のたたりが現実となる。お社様の生まれ変わりである古出理香を綿流しにするという冒涜によってお社様の怒りが村に下される。それでこの5年間の連続したたたりは本当の神罰に昇格される。もう誰にも事件なんて呼ばせない。これは荒ぶる神の怒りなのだから。
Wait, so why doesn't the curse, this what's it called? Something Manual 34 or whatever it's called, happen why doesn't it happen in Manual 34? Why doesn't it happen when Rika gets killed by, or kills herself rather? Why don't they seem to kill off the whole village in that situation?
始めなさい。
中隊長より全隊員へ、彼らのために1分間の黙祷を捧げよう。サンサ、1分だけご許可を。
お好きになさい。
She's too happy. She doesn't care. Takama gave him a disparaging laugh. The company commander crossed his heart and began to speak.
天に召します我らの父よ、罪なき彼らをどうかお導きください。彼らの尊き犠牲がそれ以上の犠牲を防ぐことをどうか報いてください。そして願わくば罪深き我らをお許しください。
Like, I can understand Takano's reasoning. Why is everyone else doing this? For what purpose?
我らが今日ここにあることをお許しください。
Company commander isn't Christian. In fact, he doesn't follow any religion. However, he prayed because he felt the need to ask someone for forgiveness. He wasn't even sure if he was saying it correctly, but he still prayed to God. He asked forgiveness for committing his sin and continued to pray. Takano was speaking in a soft voice. She was talking to herself.
神がいつ降臨されるのかは誰も知らない。それは例えるなら、泥棒がいつ訪れるのかわからないように。だから予期せずしてその時を迎えて、不信心であったことに歯ぎしりすることがないよう、常に目を覚ましていなさい。エセ預言者たちは、神の降臨を声高に叫ぶであろうが、それに惑わされてはなりませんか。
One man heard her murmurs.
マタイの福音書ですね。
そうなの？祖父の好きだった言葉よ。報われる日がいつ訪れるかわからないから、常に勤勉であれって言葉だと思っていたけど。
今日が報われる日なのですか？
そうよ。あなたにはわからないでしょうけどね。
She's far too twisted.
失礼ながら、主の降臨は慈悲深いものであるべきだと信じています。このような日にそれを例えられることは冒涜かと思います。
He was trying to tell her that using that verse of the Bible was inappropriate for the occasion. However, Takano simply laughed as though she had heard something very funny. Is she perhaps critiquing Rika, who knew that this was when she was going to die, but still wasn't able to do anything?
ごめんなさい。あなたは神に試されなさい。私は今日を境に試す側となるのよ。
以上で黙祷を終了する。
And with the end of the
全
silence,
小隊、滅菌を開始せよ。
the order was given in as hollow and reluctant a manner as an order can possibly be.
今こそ私の理想はすべて完成した。文字通りの理想郷がここにはある。ここでは私は神で、私のたたりは永遠に刻まれ、語り継がれるのだ。
People were packed into the classroom. They were afraid. The troopers closed the door of the classroom. People inside had no idea why they were doing that. However, they didn't suspect anything at all. One old man walked up to the door to open it, because with it closed it was far too hot inside the room. But he collapsed all of a sudden. His wife tried to walk over to him to help him up, but she also collapsed all of a sudden. Then, other people also started collapsing inside of the room. It really was a very odd sight. What would make for a good example? It'd be pretty amusing if they were dominoes. However, they were human beings. People sitting by the window watched this strange event happen before their eyes. They opened those eyes wider to try and understand what was going on.
ダム戦争をきっかけに、長き眠りからよみがえった荒ぶる神が、不信心なる者を綿流しの聖夜の旅にたたりを下してゆく。その一年一年の積み重ねが神の復活、お社様の意向の復活、たたりを恐れるという原始的恐怖への回帰。
The door creaked open slightly, and someone on the other side threw 3 spray canisters into the room. More people started to collapse, even those at the window. This wasn't something that was only happening in one room. This was happening in all the other rooms too. It was happening in all of the evacuation centers. People's dreams, their hopes, and their futures were taken away so quickly and easily.
そして誰もがお社様のたたりを疑わなくなり、完全に復活した我は、古きムクロの腹を内より破りて、今こそこの世によみがえる。お社様の怒りに触れるとき、地獄の釜が開きて正気があふれ出し、 人々は逃げることもかなわず、ことごとく生き絶えるなり。その最後の審判が、たたりが、こうして実現した。
There was a commotion in the reception room by the principal's office. Someone had figured out what was going on, broke the seal off the window, and escaped outside. Other people tried to remove the seal on their windows too, but they collapsed in a matter of seconds.
あなたは死んだら何が残る？身は腐り、焼かれ、骨は砕かれ砂になる。大地の肥やしになる以上の何が残せるの？
応接室で脱走発生。4名が窓から脱出。発砲許可。撃て撃て撃て撃て撃て撃て。
The soldiers shot the people who tried to escape in the back. The sound of the gunshots echoed in the silence. It was a noise filled with cruelty. They helplessly fell down to the ground. Their deaths were so pitiful compared to the silent deaths of those before them. The residential police officer was one of the escapees. He tried to shoot back at them with his own gun. His shots could be heard throughout the building. The soldiers ducked into the shadows upon hearing the noise. The officer seized his chance and ran towards the gate. That was just a waste of time. Not only is the range of the automatic weapons they're using longer than the length of the schoolyard, but as trained professionals, it will be nothing for them to shoot him from that distance. The villagers had no choice. Either they died from the gas without realizing what was happening, or they'd find out about the mission and be killed.
どうした？応答しろ！
脱走者全員の逃亡阻止。銃声は駐在警官が反撃したものです。
射殺隊を回収しろ。
一般犠牲者と一緒にしないよう注意せよ。
Soldiers walked over to the four fallen bodies. They needed to make sure that they were all dead, not just injured.
私は残した。名を残した。偉業を残した。たたりを残した。私の存在は、この長く封鎖されるこの土地で神格化されるだろう。そして、近隣の町にて今日のたたりを逃れた者たちは、たたりを恐れ、その恐怖を人々に語り継ぐだろう。人間の群れの記憶が、私を超越した存在へ昇華させるのだ。
第一小隊より本部。エイリン署の滅菌を終了。脱走者4名は射殺。
第二小隊より本部。作戦終了。
脱走者なし。
That was a complete change in voice.
第三小隊より本部。脱走者10名以上。現在相当中。制圧は時間の問題。
第4小隊より本部。滅菌終了。脱走者なし。
第3小隊より本部、脱走者13名全員の射殺を確認。全員の滅菌を終了。
了解。機密保持部隊の全小隊は確認を厳重に行われたし。
Takano was laughing to herself inside of a van. She didn't physically see all those people dying silently, but she saw it anyway. She saw countless people dying without even noticing it. She saw it all in her mind. Takano waved her arms in the air. No one was watching her, but no one would understand what she was doing, even if they were. She was waving her baton. Takano was pretending that she was the conductor of a silent funeral march.
さあ、非常時対策の完全終了を確認。通信妨害を終了しますが、よろしいですか？
Just notice the skull mark there. Are we the bad?
いいわよ。
施設処理部隊より定時連絡。機密搬出と溶接封鎖を完了。現在注水中。
交通封鎖部隊より定時連絡。封鎖線は異常なし。
通信工作部隊より定時連絡。通信妨害を終了。電話施設の現状復帰を開始。
Tsukano was paying no attention to those reports. She continued to sing the melody of an orchestra. One operator spoke to her.
ご機嫌ですね。
最高に気分がいい夜よ。あなたには聞こえないでしょうね。この新しい神を称える賛歌が。
賛歌であります。
I almost feel like he's gonna get killed next. Takano laughed loudly, spreading her arms wide.
そうよ。称える歌。神のいなかったこの地に新しい神が誕生した瞬間を称える賛歌よ。このひなみ沢には神などいなかった。お社様という名が残るだけ。神がかつて存在した痕跡が残るだけのただの古ぼけた土地だった。その地に私は再び神を取り戻させたの。どういうことかわかる？わからないでしょうね。
That you're crazy?
今の世界にたたる神が何人いる？人が試すことに耐えられる神が何人いる？一人もいやしない。それを私がたたった。
Tsukano laughed as if she was the only one who could comprehend what she was saying. None of the operators inside the car could comprehend her laughter. Tsukano was satisfied to know that.
たたりなきは神にあらず。たたるゆえに恐れられ、恐れられるゆえに崇められる。それこそが神の真実。神が信仰を生み出すのではなく、信仰が神を生み出すのなら、神にでも太古の神々はたたったのよ。では神のたたりとは何なのか。それこそが真の神の証だった。たたらない神など人間に見下された神でしかないのよ。神の宿らぬ抜け殻の土地に神が確かに存在した痕跡を見た私は思ったわ。これは天の啓示だと。ダム戦争が終わるまで明治から100年にもわたりひなみ沢は神を失ってきた。
Except Tanyu had been there since Rika was born.
それを私が蘇らせろという神の啓示だと私は思ったわ。
No, there's a god complex and then there's a literal god complex.
そして天は私にありとあらゆる力を貸してくれた。天が与えたわずかの偶然が積もり、芽生えたたたりの芽を私が育てた。育まれたたたりは今や結実し、実をたわわにそうよ、わかる？つまりは今宵は収穫祭。お社様の伝説に刻まれた最後の神のたたりの日。この日が訪れたからこそ、お社様の存在は今こそ絶対となる。あなたたちは今は分からなくてもやがて知る。私が成した偉業がどれほどのものか、どれだけ長く語り継がれるか、そして私がどれほどの存在となったのか。神はたたる。そのたたりを私は起こす。
She does seem like somewhat obsessed with God's cursing, so maybe she's trying to get revenge because she feels like she's unfairly cursed somehow.
今こそ我はお社様のたたりなり。
So she wants to take the power for herself?
我をあがめよ、たたえよ、そして恐れよ。
Like, what happened in her childhood that made her this twisted?
我が紡ぐはたたりにあらず死にあらず。我が紡ぐは歴史なり。歴史はたたりを語り、我が存在を永劫に語り伝えるであろう。我こそはたたりなり。肉でできた身を超越せし者なり。今こそ我は永遠を得たり。我が身を呪えよ人間たち。身が朽ちれば後には何も残せぬ無力さを呪い、悔やみ、恐れるがいい。そして我が偉大さを知るがいい。我こそはお社様なり。今こそ神の領域に至ったものなり。我は肉体が滅びようとも永遠にこの地で語り継がれるのだ。我はお社様。我こそはお社様のたたり。我をあがめよ。たたえよ。そして恐れよ。我が紡ぐはたたりにあらず死にあらず。我が紡ぐは歴史なり。歴史はたたりを語り、我が存在を永劫に語り伝えるであろう。我こそはたたりなり。肉でできた身を超越せし者なり。この身がたとえ朽ち果てようとも、我が紡ぎし歴史は永遠に残り続けるであろう。今こそ我は永遠を得たり。我が身を呪えよ人間たち。身が朽ちれば後には何も残せぬ無力さを呪い、悔やみ、恐れるがいい。
Just kind of feels like she's repeating herself now.
我が偉大さを知るがいい。我こそはお社様なり。今こそ神の領域に至ったものなり。我は肉体が滅びようとも永遠にこの地で語り継がれて永遠の生を受けるのだ。
So I'm guessing the reason why they included this is so we can elaborate on it next chapter, maybe? Like it's in chapter 8. And it might be that the other like path which you can take leads to like a bad end where Rika doesn't where she like gets sleep drugged again and so she doesn't remember. But who knows? I will find that out next time because I am running out of space on my computer. Yeah. I think I started off with like nearly 20 gigs and now I've got like 2 gigs left, so I'm going to have to end it here for today. I hope you all enjoyed. People who've been watching as I've been playing this stream, and also if you happen to be, well, if you're watching this on YouTube as it's coming out, or if you're binging it all in one go, thank you very much for like experiencing this with me. I hope you enjoyed. There will be more parts coming, but later. So until then, see ya. So just continuing on, this is after the stream, a few days have gone past. I've just had a look at the footage, and it wasn't a choice. So there was actually much less time left than I expected. It's only this tip left. This fragment's end. Yeah, so I've just gone and recorded the explanation there. And since this is just a tip, I'll finish off with this quickly. This fragment's end. I'll just put it in now after the rest of the video. I guess Rika finally managed to assemble all the pieces to her puzzle. But we don't know yet if her memories will pass on to her next life. Rika always loses the memory of her death. I don't know if she can retain the memories of what she's discovered, except she's mentioned before, like with Shion in those routes. What do you think? Did you have fun? Yes, I am really looking forward to the next chapter. Once you find out the answers, collecting them isn't so fun anymore. You don't agree? I see. You still might find something different by examining some old fragments. After all, the time we have here is endless. We have to find something to play with, because there's nothing to do here. Oh. For me, playing with these fragments stops being fun when I find out what's inside. But if you can tell me how to have fun with them even so, that makes you pretty smart. What? You want to know what I play with? I don't play. I'm just killing time. I like to imagine what Rika could have done in order to achieve the future she hopes for. I like to imagine a world that would have been happy for all of them. You found out how these worlds are set up by looking at the previous ones, right? I'd like to analyze what would need to change in order for Rika to win against Takano. You want to see what's on my mind? Hehe, too bad. I'm not showing that to you. In that world, Rika and her friends survived their struggle and broke through the fate of June 1983. It's just my imagination. It's not for me to share with you. I feel like this is just cheating. I'm sure the world that Rika is about to create is better than anything in my imagination. Even if she's stuck on June 1983. I'm sure this now-ended world will remain one of Rika's brightest fragments either way. No matter how much she struggles, if she actually overcomes her fate, it will be the most brilliant fragment of her story. I'm sure the life Rika lives makes for a better story than my boring imagination. You want to know what happened to Rika? She made a decision to redo her life once again with Hanyu. She's trying to live her life with all her might. That's what she learned from this world. Her next life has already begun. I do wonder what that life is like. I'm going there now to check. Do you want to come with me? Ah, that was good. That's a detective achievement, and I feel like this wasn't wiped before. So now I think it's just for the staff room, and that's it. Hi, this is Higurashi07. Thank you for playing Higurashi When They Cry, Kai, Chapter 7, Minagoroshi. This time around, the scenario was almost like the answer page in a book of riddles. Or maybe the scenario was like a side dish we enjoyed alongside all the scenarios up until now. You can take it how you like. I just hope you enjoyed it. I was very nervous about releasing this scenario, because a mystery is only good when it's still a mystery. This scenario marks the end of that mystery. To be honest, I didn't want to release this chapter for a while. However, way too many similar stories are being published with no answers at all. A book of riddles means nothing if there's no answer page in the back. Coming up with an answer when you have no way to see if it's right or not is a little sad, I think. If there are no answers, you can't get any joy out of reading a book of riddles. I regret to see that there are way too many stories out there that don't offer this kind of joy. That's why I decided to release something that you can compare your answer to for this series. Since this world had a rather irregular presentation, there may not have been many people who reached what might be called the right answer. It's not really about whether your answer was right or wrong. It's much more about how many questions you raised when reading the story, and how many answers you were able to find. Thank you all very much for the solutions you sent me. They were all wonderful theories, and some were thought out so much more than the actual story that I frequently thought about making them the right answer. I laugh. Also, your support has given me courage to finish writing the 7th chapter of this series. Thank you very much for supporting Higurashi. Finally, I would like to apologize about how I betrayed the Child Consultation Center. I don't know what it was like in 1983, but child consultation centers do not mean places like they're depicted in my story. I made the characters look so unfeeling, but in reality, the government today is the #1 hero for us civilians. In fact, those involved with child welfare and youth education are all extremely passionate and selflessly devoted people. I'm sorry for giving them such a negative image in this chapter. The next chapter, Matsuri Bayashi, is going to be the last one of the series. I'm overwhelmed by the pressure of writing the last chapter of Higurashi When They Cry, which turned out to be such a long story. I hope you'll continue your kind support. Thank you all very much. The 7th expansion, Yukishi 7. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this whole journey so far. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. If you're looking forward to the next chapter. So that was fire. Let me know. Until then, I guess, see ya. Last time we'll see this screen. Well, I mean, I guess you can always just rewatch it.